Hi, I'm Anna from BeautyGirlsMom.com, and I am here again with my cousin Margaret.
Hello.
She has the best smile. We are here to talk to you today about whether or not there's any value or any reason for you to get one of the Disney dining plans if you've had gastric bypass surgery. Margaret and I have both had different kinds of gastric bypass surgery, and I will ask you the question because I know you like the Disney dining plan. We've never really gotten into it, but what do you think? Is it worth it once you're gastrically altered to do the dining plan?
For me, myself, I'm going to say no. Only because I know what my limits are. After being post-surgery, I don't, especially in a public place like that, I would never, I feel like when you get the dining plan and all that food is in front of you, and this is where the whole mental aspect of eating comes in. It's like you have to eat all that because you paid for it and it's not cheap. I know that I can't even have half of that, possibly a third. Where I'm not going to make myself sick because I'm going to force myself to eat all this because I paid for it. Like the snacks, like cookies. I'll get the snacks and I'll bring them home, give them to somebody. But I'm going to say no.
I have to say that I agree with you. And for a lot of people who get overweight enough that they benefit from gastric bypass surgery, there is that mental component that says there's cheesecake in front of me, I have to finish it, or there's a plate of food. And I know there's a lot of people out there who have no idea what this means. They don't have any concept of this. But there is a mental component to being overweight. And part of that for me is not even so much that I paid for it, just that it's here and it tastes good, and how could I leave it?
Like, yeah, why not? Why not? Why not? You're only here. You're here today.
Exactly.
Why not?
So
you're going to be walking through the park. You'll burn your calories. Why not?
Absolutely. I myself have gotten sick at Walt Disney World post gastric bypass surgery, thinking I could eat things that I really couldn't. And I know better now that I've gained weight back eating things that were wrong. I know now what it's supposed to feel like when you've had enough and what foods are not going to work for me. And I know even better that being on the Disney dining plan is a really bad idea for somebody who is supposed to be watching what they eat. Do you think there's any benefit in getting the dining plan so that you're not snacking all day? Like you can say, no, I can't buy this popcorn now because I know that I have to eat lunch later because I have the dining plan and I have a reservation.
I think that depends on, I'm going to say no, but I also think that depends on the person.
I think
and
so
that's
too.
Where it comes back to the whole mental game you play. Like, I'm not going to have this because I have to have that. But if I eat good today, I'm having that tomorrow because it looks so good.
Yeah, and I think a lot of gastric bypass patients still have those foods that
they
get
just can't,
stuck. They just can't eat them.
Right.
And being on the dining plan, I don't want to say that you're limited in what you can eat because you're not. You can order anything you want off of the menu, but the things that are combined on the menu may not necessarily be things that you can eat. Like the one place that I got sick was Liberty Tree Tavern, where you get a platter of meats. It's, the steak and the turkey and the ham and the potatoes.
And you're probably thinking protein.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Where I can't eat all that protein.
No, you can't.
Protein gets stuck, and the drier it is, the harder it is for me to eat.
Yeah.
So I absolutely got sick at Liberty Tree Tavern, but there I was at an all-you-could-eat, fixed price meal, and it was like, okay, do I just eat 2 bites of the steak, and now I can't eat anymore, and I've just paid $40 for this dinner?
Which I've realized the whole all-you-can-eat phrase is it's a problem.
Now, I know people that have done, they prefer the all-you-can-eat places because their answer...
Right. Which some people, and that kind of amazes me because I do have a friend that got the surgery and she'll go to an all-you-can-eat, which is fine, but she'll get her money's worth and she'll eat what she eats, and she doesn't have a problem until like 2-3 hours later. Mm-hmm. And I understand everyone's different, and she knows that it will get to that point. Why she allows it to get to that point? Because she spent the money for it. In Florida, the whole character experience, taking away. I feel like I'd be, if I didn't go with the kids so they can't meet who they want to meet, then I'm just like, oh, because I'm not waiting in those lines.
Yeah.
But in this case, me knowing that I can't have X, Y, and Z and too much of it, I will spend that money so they can do it. And I just like, I'll nibble and I'll grab this and chew at that, but I wouldn't almost force feed myself because I just paid for this all you can eat and I feel like I have to eat it now. And no, and I think things I had to work on.
Disney in the earlier days of the gastric bypass boom used to be more accommodating of people that had gastric bypass surgery. There was a time where I could go to a character meal, and instead of paying for the entire meal, they would either charge me the child's price for my meal, or we went to Disney 10 days after my gastric bypass surgery, and I could not eat solid food. So we went to a character meal where they only charged me a $10 entertainment fee to just sit there with the kids and watch the characters.
Did you have to give them proof of, like, did you have to show them anything?
Again, this was like in the early days and there was no proof. Right after I had my surgery, the little cards became very popular. The doctors would give you the card that says, please, make accommodations for this person because they've had gastric bypass. Right. But the reality of dining at Disney is, if you go someplace like the Crystal Palace or Chef Mickey's,
that's our thing, so they can meet their people. Chef Mickey's,
but they can't realistically watch you to say no. They ate easily an adult amount of food, so I don't think they're as accommodating now as they were, and I think that's another part of what makes the dining plan such a bad value for somebody who's had gastric bypass surgery. I might be inclined to go and pay for the Chef Mickey meal for myself just so that the kids could enjoy it. I don't want to go to a meal where I have to do 2 dining credits and know that I'm only going to be able to eat an appetizer and a soup or something like that. So I think, overall, both of us agree that it's probably not a good value for you to do the Disney dining plan after you've had gastric bypass surgery.
I don't think it is, but to flip something, what happens when you're at Disney when they're offering the free dining plan and you're there the amount of time at the time and then you can't say no because it's free and it's included, then what do you do?
I think in that case, because you haven't spent any money, if you go to a restaurant and you order something because you're on the dining plan and
it's included, it's free,
I think there's a mental component that says, well, I haven't actually paid for this. So if I order the fish and I can only eat 2 bites of it, or if I order the steak and I can only eat 2 bites of it,
it's okay because
I haven't wasted.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't wasted my $50 or $60 a day or whatever. So I think in that respect, it's okay if you're there on free dining, but don't pay for it unless you're in a room where everyone else in your family is a big eater and you can go to a restaurant and order a meal and know that your husband will eat half.
Give it to Isaiah.
Split it between the kids.
Here you go.
But and Isaiah is one, but Granuel also, she does not like to go to the restaurant and order from the kids menu. She doesn't want the chicken nuggets. She wants half the lobster.
Exactly.
So,
and he'll eat half the lobster.
Yeah. So I think if you're in a situation where everyone else in your room wants the dining plan and you end up getting it, as long as you know that you can split your portion among everybody else so that you don't have that, oh my God, I just paid, $50, $60 for this plan for the day and I've eaten 3 bites. I think that makes it a little more worth it.
And that also brings me back, and this is completely irrelevant, like when I was younger and it was like you're going to eat all your dinner because I worked. I think that's where a lot of that came from. Like, you have to have your meat, you have to have your starch, you have to have your vegetable, or else you're not getting dessert.
Yeah. I think we were pretty good in that respect because my mother never really made us eat anything, and she was always really good at saying, we're having fish for dinner, do you want me to make you a hamburger or spaghetti or something? My mother would make us something else. So we never really were forced to eat everything on our plate, but I do think there's a really strong mental component in obesity, and I think there's so much temptation at Disney that it's better to just...
And then when you smell everything, I
Oh
really
my
feel like
God.
walking down Main Street, I just keep smelling food. And I don't know if it's a trick or if it's a game or... But it's like, yes, I want that
I hit those
turkey
popcorn
leg.
carts like as soon as I go through the Magic Kingdom, and it's like, oh, I just have
And
to
it's
have
like,
popcorn.
right, and you're paying for popcorn. And it's how much when you can buy a big box and bring it back and pop it
Yeah.
up. It's just like, it's a mental thing.
But I would rather pay the $5 for the box of popcorn and enjoy half of the box, although popcorn's one of those foods that I can eat pounds of
Right.
it and not even notice, than to know that I've paid $60 for the day on the dining plan and all I could really eat was the $5 box of popcorn.
Right.
So I think there you go. There you have it. Both of us agree that if you've had gastric bypass surgery, you may not find that there's a lot of value in the Disney dining plan. If you have questions or comments about traveling at Walt Disney World post gastric bypass surgery, just drop us a line in the comments or send me a note. I am Anna from BeautyGirlsMom.com. Don't forget to subscribe wherever it appears on your screen. Thank you.
So cute.